This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Travel Mole broadcast. As you are probably aware, if you're not, you must be living on the moon, that this coming November, there will be the world's largest sporting event. I think it's probably larger than the Olympic Games now in terms of participation and viewers on television, will be the FIFA World Cup. And in 2022, it's going to be held in Qatar. And one of the key components of the World Cup will be transporting people into Qatar and eventually, when the tournament is over, away from Qatar. And I'm delighted that the man who's got an awful lot to do with the success of that transportation nightmare, it sounds to me, is Eric Odone, who is the Vice President of Europe. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Graham.
How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Good, Eric. It sounds an absolutely fantastic opportunity for your airline to basically market themselves to the world and the great services that you offer. But is it equally a logistical nightmare for you, given the number of flights that are going to have to come in and out, not only for spectators, but also for teams and media and everybody else?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a logistical nightmare. In many ways, what the World Cup requires and a quality airline to bring people to the state of Qatar, because it's effectively a celebration for the state of Qatar itself. I mean, we've got, we've been around for 25 years, and especially I would say over the last couple of years throughout the pandemic, when we never stopped flying, we were always able to actually adapt our network to external factors, namely the pandemic mostly, and all the NOTAM that were happened and basically forced us to adapt our program. So in that particular case, obviously, we're talking about something just a lot more positive, but we developed throughout the World Cup an agility to make sure we were where we needed to be, number one, which is exactly what's happening with the World Cup. So tweaking the program to make sure that we basically bring people from the qualifying countries into Qatar to see the matches whenever it's required, but also to take advantage of, continue to take advantage of the demand for international travel. And we continue to have, obviously, passenger traveling through Qatar to a final destination to go on holiday or on business. So it's that balance that is interesting. I don't think any airline ever got it completely right. So, but I do feel that, because we've been so agile during the World Cup, it makes us reactive, and we're still adapting the program as it comes, and I'm confident that we will be able to bring people to the World Cup without any trouble, whilst continuing to deliver the splendid, seamless product that we always delivered to the other customers who will transit through Qatar.
Excellent. In the lead up to the World Cup and now, for example, and probably in the preceding 6 months, have you made any special efforts in terms of pricing, in terms of capacity? I know you've covered a little bit of that in that answer, to ensure a very wide visitor participation, a spectator participation?
I mean, the pricing is certainly for all of the packages the packages were sold since last September, so there's been a lot of time to actually buy them, and we continue to sell them. And we, as countries qualified, we just make sure that all of them were available from the relevant countries. We tweaked the program as I mentioned before, just to make sure we delivered the capacity required to Qatar. I mean, it's a global event. It will automatically require more emphasis to Qatar as opposed to through Qatar. So that's been taken care of from the start. We've also put in place what we call match day shuttle flights for people who basically want to be based outside of Qatar. So it can be in the UAE, it can be in Kuwait, it can be in Oman, it can be in Saudi Arabia. And we've got special deal with partners like Fly Dubai, Kuwait Airways, Oman Air, and Saudi. And people will be able to be based outside of Qatar and basically come to Qatar for the day, arrive in the morning, leave in the evening, just to enjoy going to the matches. And they don't require accommodation. They don't even need to check in bags. So I think it's a very interesting way for people to experience the World Cup and have basically the choice of whether they want to stay in Qatar through packages or to stay outside of Qatar through the match day shuttles.
Excellent. How many of the World Cup finalists have direct flights? I know you've got a very, very extensive network these days coming through Doha. How many of the World Cup finalists actually have direct flights into Doha?
Well, we fly to 150 destinations. Obviously, not all 150 are actually compatible, but I would say all the destinations which we did operate as a non-stop service, those have been reinstated anyway. We're also opening a new destination actually on the 15th of November, Düsseldorf to Doha, which will also coincide with the start of the World Cup. So it's an additional opportunity for people based in Germany or in the vicinity of Düsseldorf in general.
Okay, good. And you mentioned a little bit that, you know, you could do these day flights from outside of Qatar and that there would be no need to even check in luggage. Luggage appears to be an issue across the Western world and in the aviation world post-COVID. Ground handling, et cetera, at Doha, is that under your control or is it under the control of the government? And what special arrangements have been made there? Because what you don't want to necessarily do is arrive at Doha and have to wait 3 hours for your luggage.
Sure. I mean, all the ground handling is basically handled by a company called Qatar Aviation Services, which has been the sole provider of for the state of Qatar for nearly 20 years. I mean, there's obviously been a lot of planning into that. I mean, I don't anticipate any drastic issues at all. Actually, I would say that there's a sense of pride for the whole state of Qatar and for all the people involved into the World Cup. I mean, it's going to be the first World Cup in the Middle East, so it's almost like a movement. It creates a movement amongst all the nations in the Middle East to have access to the World Cup in their region. It's opening up to people who normally never had the opportunity. I mean, yeah. So I don't anticipate any issues there.
Good. And what do you know, as a vice president for Europe, that's obviously a very senior position with Qatar Airways. What do you hope will be the outcome? You know, in a year's time, in November 23, for example, what would you hope the people's image would be, both of the airline and of the country?
From an airline perspective, I mean, I don't anticipate anything different from what we already are, which is we're perceived as a quality carriers. We are the only airline in the world that ever won Best Airline 6 times at the Skytrax Awards. We've also won multiple. We continue to win other awards. It's not just about Skytrax, and we always win multiple awards. It's Best Airline, Best Business Class seat, lounges. So from that perspective, I'm very excited that the World Cup will bring new people on Qatar Airways, football supporters, and I'm sure they're going to be delighted by the quality of service they get on Qatar Airways. So that's definitely a great addition. I think the second part is opening up Qatar to the world as a destination, and that is very exciting. People will discover a new country. I don't think it has the place in tourism, in global tourism that it should have. So together with the tourism board and all the partners in Qatar, I'm pretty sure people will be very interested in coming over to Qatar and seeing for themselves the high standards of service and of everything. I mean, accommodation, public transport, and that wonderfully genuine, authentic Middle Eastern hospitality that is very prevalent in Qatar.
Excellent. Well, I wish you the very best of luck in the tournament and all the logistics and the passengers and indeed, probably more importantly, post World Cup, a success for Qatar and Qatar Airways. I look forward to seeing you in mid-December when England take on France in the final. And as I said, very best of luck and thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you very much, man.
Cheers.